The greatest power you possess is your ability to choose. Join Lowe's Moore as he reveals how you can begin to maximize that power by exploring yourself on the deepest levels and committing to making lasting and positive changes. Get ready to achieve breakthroughs that will lead to accelerated growth and transformation because you are now tuned in to The Blueprint.
Why they actions contradict the lamb. I'm fellowshipping when I'm with the fam. That's more relations, that's foreign and foreign.
Good morning and welcome back to the Blueprint Podcast. I'm excited to be with you guys again on another Saturday or Sunday evening, but this is Saturday. It's a special, and I'm excited to be with you guys. And as we come close to, can you believe it? As we come close to a close of another year, it just seemed like the other day we were having the same conversation about like, hey, it's New Year's, and we are, oh man, this is like just yesterday, man. We were in December and we were preparing to go into a new year, and we were talking excited about that new year coming up, and here we are again. I mean, I do love this part of the year where we have Thanksgiving and Christmas and Kwanzaa and we're celebrating the importance power of God.
And Hanukkah. Hanukkah started on the 26th.
Yeah, Hanukkah.
No, 25th. It was the first time that Hanukkah started on Christmas Day in a long time, you know.
Oh wow. And you know, just these wonderful time of the year. And here we are again. Time seems to be moving so fast. You know, it's going to be January. We're going to be in 2020. Can you believe it? 2025.
Yes.
You know, and you know, I was thinking about as my year in review, and I was thinking about the year. I thought about like as I was looking back at the 12 months, and if I could put a finger on. You know, we had some good times. We had a lot of good times in 2025. I mean, but they don't come without like everyday struggles, everything, you know, opportunities. You know, there's always some negative and some positive. I mean, the yin and the yang that's what life is. I mean, there's some offense. Sometimes you got to be offensively minded, and then sometimes you got to be defensively minded. You know, the whole goal is how do we get to ultimately when something happens during the course of the year, you know, how do we grow from it? I mean, I don't look at it as failure. I look at it as an opportunity to overcome and become successful in whatever life throws our way. And so we're going to talk a lot about that today in the year of review, and then some projections for you know, maybe for ourselves as we go into 2025 and some hope. You know, it's like a rhythm. I mean, it's ups, you know, it's highs, right? And then there's higher highs when we have really, really good things happen to us. But the normal day is, hey, I woke up this morning and I started to manifest life. And then, you know, you have some things you need to overcome. It's a rhythm, right? You know, and you're just trying to keep the right rhythm, the right flow. If I could say, if we can go into 2025, you know, finding that rhythm, finding that happiness in life, that joy in life, that peace in life, that love in life, right? If we can find a rhythm, that's a good thing. 2025. Can we find the right rhythm, right? As we go into as we leave in 20, I think I'm in a nice rhythm, you know, leaving 2024 and the right, flow, right? Here's another word, flow. The right flow, right? Natural flow, right? Every now and then I want a high, but sometimes when you get a high, right? I mean, in the class I took on the overflow or overview, it was overview of substance abuse, right? And they talk about in life we have these nice rhythms, these nice flows, right? And then if we eat, if we drink something, or we take some kind of substance, we get a high, right? We get a high, but then we get a low, right? And then we're always trying to get back to the high, right? And so we do something or say something or take something to try to get us back to that ultimate high, right? And it's hard to find because, you might need to, people try to drink more to get to that high, right? They try to take more substance to get to that high, right? And you almost find that you can never get to that high, right? And so what we want out of life, right, is I think is two things as we look at 24 and go into 2025. I'm not going to say, right? I'm not going to say, and we're talking about not only rhythm and flow, but we're talking about frequency and vibration, right? And I think as we go on into 2025, how do we sustain the flow? How do we sustain the rhythm? How do we stay in that frequency, that higher frequency, that higher vibration? How do we do that as we go into 2025? How do we get to that rhythm, that flow, that frequency, and that vibration? Because, even though you got this flow here, this nice smooth flow, for me, I don't want to stay just in that nice fluid motion, that flow and rhythm. I want to get to my next level. Like if look at this. You got a screen. I guess you guys can see that screen there. And if in the middle of the screen, right, I'm in the this is the middle of the screen. So if I'm in the middle of the screen doing this nice flow and rhythm, right, the whole thing is how can I now increase that rhythm, that flow, that frequency, that vibration. Now I want to be up here going into 2025. I want to increase it. I want to get it. Now I'm up here, right? And I want to sustain the flow. Right? I want to sustain the rhythm. Right? And I want to sustain the frequency. And I want to sustain, right, the vibration, right? I want more life. That's the word, right? I want life, not a life of up and downs, but I want a higher life. I want to talk more about life. As you get older, you have a tendency, you start becoming aware of your own immortality, right? But you know what I learned, right? There's immortality in Christ, right? There's immortality in God, right? And the question is, most people are waiting to go to heaven to have more immortality or more life or more of an ascended life, right? Higher life, right? Where we find certain levels of joy and happiness. And it's interesting, we were in North Carolina the week before Christmas. That means that it was last week. We were in North Carolina hanging out with my brothers and my sister and of course their family. And then it was interesting having a conversation with Roy Hansen, right, and Robin Hansen. It was interesting, because sometimes you don't know you in a bad flow, you're in a bad rhythm. You just living life, man. You get up in the morning, you go to work, you feel sluggish. You don't know why you feel sluggish, but you in a frequency and you're in a vibration, right? And you're in a rhythm that is not high, it's low frequency and low vibration, right? It's below the line. I'm the line, but it's below the line. And so we just surviving, right? We're not thriving, we just surviving, right? And it was interesting. Of course, Roy has worked, I guess, in East Chester for years, in his career and what he was doing. And Robin was in her career, right? And then, Roy retires, right? He retires, and then they move, right? What's that thing you always say when
the pain of where you are becomes greater than the fear of where you're going, you'll move.
you move? Sometimes we don't know we're in pain.
Say it again.
Huh?
When the pain of where you are becomes greater than the fear of where you're going, you'll move.
Right. So some people don't want to get up and move. They want to stay where they are. They think, oh man, I've been here so long. I've been living the same way so long. I've been living in the same community so long. We don't even know. I give you a perfect example before we move on. Right. I give you a perfect example. A young man used to come by the club all the time. We used to have conversation all the time. Brother Ali, right? He used to always come by because he knew I loved the NBA pictures, the shots of Kobe Bryant and Michael Jordan and Muhammad Ali. He used to come by and I used to support him because he had this business of these professional shots of these different athletes and entertainers. And we used to talk all the time. And I get in my deep conversation like I'm in right now, right? And I'm talking to him about, getting to see beyond where you are. Right? And he said, I said, people just need to get to see beyond where they are so they can move. Right? You have to know that there's something else out there. And if you've gone nowhere, you don't know anything is out there. Like my first awareness, I used to go to North Carolina when I was a little kid all the time, right? But I realized that when I started playing basketball with Mr. Jones, he used to take us to these different tournaments and stuff like that. And I realized, like, man, there's something outside of Mount Vernon, right? I'm like, wow, there's other stuff outside of Mount Vernon. Right. And so I was talking to him about that. And he said, Mr. Moore, I'm out there on the block all the time. I'm talking to these guys on the block all the time. Sometimes these guys can't see beyond the block they're standing on. And here I am trying to give him some wisdom. He gave me some wisdom. Right. So you got to, if somebody's on the block, you got to get them to see beyond just the block. So as you transition from 24 to 25, right? How do we lose the fear of moving off our block? Right? How do we move off our block? I mean, I'm telling you, it was crazy, and I'm still a little leery. But leaving the Boys and Girls Club was a weird situation. Right. It was a crazy situation. I didn't see more for me other than where I was. Right. And as I'm going to 2025, and it's taking a transition because the pandemic has had an impact on all of us. It's caused all of us to pause. It's caused all of us to get stuck. It caused all of us to be in a survival mindset. Right. And I think as we go into 2025, we need to think more. Right? Okay. We need to think beyond the pandemic. And you heard me tell the story before, as I was getting my car serviced in White Plains in the pandemic, in the thick of the pandemic. There were people still achieving their goals, still whatever dreams they had, whatever they were trying to create, whatever they were trying to invent, they didn't stop. Right? I remember going through the pandemic of the 2 and 3 years, and when that pandemic first stopped, you got to get your car service because you want to go somewhere. So I'm in White Plains, right, and I'm getting my car service. Rather than just sit there, I start walking. So I started walking all over White Plains, and I realized that people were building buildings. I mean, people were still outside working, and there was a hole in the ground, a deep hole in the ground up there by County Center. It was a deep hole in the ground. I walked over there and I looked. I looked over. I see the hole in the ground. I see the men working on building a building. You're in the middle of a pandemic. You should be home, right? You shouldn't be building nothing, right? But I walk over there and there's men in the foundation. That's right, called foundation. They were in the foundation because however high you're going to build that building, that's how low you got to go in the ground so that the building would stay stable, right, when it's built, right? If you had a little foundation, you just built that building's coming down with any strong wind. But you got to put a foundation in that's solid, right? You got to put a foundation that's solid. And as the pandemic went on 2-3 years, you know what happened? That building was up in the midst of the pandemic. So in the midst of your storm, sometimes you got to move. Sometimes you got to dream. You got to set goals, right? In the midst of that, right? And that's what we want to talk about. We want to look back and see, did we make any goals in 2024? Did we accomplish some things in 2024? Because it's hard to make new goals if you haven't accomplished the old ones. Because we can lose our way in the midst of survival. Right? I know I'm on my wheel. I'm on my, I'm on my soapbox this morning, and I just want a reality. So let me get going. Let's jump into the book of the week. Yeah, hold on. Yeah. My wife is over there. She's doing something, but she's going to join me in a minute. But so I was on my soapbox, and she was telling me keep going. My book of the week, and it's called 1 Year. It's a chronicle, 1 year in the Bible. I don't know, if you guys. So maybe some of us just stop reading our Bible. Nope. Right. But if for those who are now in there, having a moment and you say, I want to know more about God. I want to know more about what is this Bible? What is this Bible all about? This is a 1 year chronicle Bible. Right. And it starts in January, the 1st of January. And I've read my Bible, plenty of times, probably a couple of times all the way through.
So that's like 365 days of the year you're reading?
Yeah, 365 days. I got the actual I got that Bible on my phone.
Okay.
Yeah, I have that Bible right there that I'm gonna be reading through every day. That's
this Bible right here?
Yeah, that Bible right there.
You got that?
I have that Bible on my phone.
Oh, on your phone. Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
I got that Bible on my phone.
Monica said study.
Yeah, you know what?
Studies.
Let me explain what I'm trying to accomplish.
Okay.
Right? Because sometimes we read books, right? Or we say we're going to study, right? And the reality of it is, I'm not trying to study, right? I'm trying to build a relationship with the Creator, right? I'm trying to get closer to Him, not to study, right? I'm trying to get closer to Him. So, like any good parent, the closer you get to your mom or your dad, the closer you get to them, the more they see the sign that you have matured, the more they want to share with you. And I believe the closer we get to God, the building of an intimate relationship with God causes God to share with you things that you could never imagine. Places you could go. Assignments he wants you to accomplish. Right? And so with this daily reading, I want to become more aware of him so I can become more aware of the things that he has for me.
Amen.
Amen. So that's why you see the Bible up there. And if you want more from God, you got to get closer to him. Mm-hmm. Right? And if you don't get closer, you don't want,
like I get closer to you.
Yeah. And then that's my my book of the week. And then
That's good. That's good. That's right. You're right.
Yeah. So
Your word of the week.
Yeah, my word of the week is life. As we go into 2025, man, I think a lot of us think we've been living life. And the reality, man, I mean, the only way to really live the life God wants us to live is to get closer to him.
Okay.
And remember I was talking about earlier, the higher frequency, the higher vibration, the higher flow, right? A higher flow, right? A higher rhythm, right? I think we're living beneath. We used to hear preachers always say we're living beneath our privileges, and we are. So, in order to get that higher flow, you got to get closer to God. And I'm not talking about religiously, because some people just think like, man, if I just get every day 6 o'clock in the morning, if I do this, if I read my Bible, and you do it. Right? But it doesn't change you, right? If it doesn't become your lifestyle, then it's just, love just pours out. When you're in the lifestyle, we look at look at Jesus, right? It just poured out of him. It wasn't something he had to think, let me think about if I'm going to do this. It just flowed out of him, right? To pray for somebody, to help somebody, to walk on water just flowed out of him, man. And we want to flow like Jesus. Isn't that good? Let's flow like Jesus, right? And he said we shall do greater works. Let's be like Jesus as we come into 2025. We want more of life. I mean, everything on television is about death, violence, right? And no, God wants life. He wants us to live the kind of life here before we get to heaven. He wants us to live heaven on earth before we get to heaven. Amen.
You gonna take a breath now?
Yeah, I'm taking a breath.
Okay.
All right.
I just wanted to say, I was looking at what Monica wrote when she said we're living beneath the purpose that he has given us, that God has given us. The reason most people are living beneath that purpose is because they don't know what the purpose is.
Well, that's true.
And so if you don't know your purpose, you're going to be doomed to live beneath it because you don't even know you have a purpose, So we've got to get to the place of identifying, and really getting in that. And I think that yearly reading of the Bible, that really connecting to the Word of God will help you begin to identify what purpose God has in store for you.
Can I get it? Can I give y'all, because there are different types of purpose.
Okay.
Right? There spiritual purposes, mental purposes, physical purposes, financial purposes, what we're going to do to be a blessing, to be blessed, but to be a blessing and purpose. What is that purpose? What should I be doing? But ultimately, I think that if you want to know what God's purpose is, right? Is there anybody that wants to know what God's purpose is for every one of us? I mean, each and every human being. Is there anybody out there that wants to know what God's purpose is for us? Now, there are other purposes, when you break it down, there are other purposes, but what is the ultimate purpose? Anybody want to know what the ultimate purpose is? I see you guys. Thank you for being with us this morning on the Blueprint as we get ready for talk about 2024 and into 2020. Anybody want to know what the purpose is? Somebody, just one person put up, I want to know what God's ultimate purpose for us is. I'm going to move on until you guys, somebody says, I want to know what God's ultimate purpose is for my life.
Well, I'll tell you when it gets there. So you want to go on to the affirmation?
Yeah, let's go on to the affirmation until somebody says, I want to know what God's purpose is for everybody. Right here's some affirmation. You probably can't really see it up there. I can see it, but it says, I am enough. I am in charge of my actions, my words, and I am proud of myself. I am worthy. I am worthy of love and respect. I am capable of achieving my goals. I am grateful. I am grateful for everything that I have in my life. How many of you are grateful? Because that's one of the amazing things that God responds to your gratefulness. Right? When you get up in the morning, I'm just grateful. Grateful that I woke up this morning. Grateful for my family. Grateful for all that God has done. I'm not whining when I get up in the morning. Right? I am confident and capable, and I am worthy of love. I'm worthy of love and happiness. You are worthy of it. That's resilience, right? I have experienced challenges in the past, and I am more resilient because of this. Hey, if there's no test, there's no growth, right? Life is a test and a trial. I believe in myself. I promise myself love, patience, and kindness for this week, right? It says, I feel more grateful each day. Any day can turn around with a positive attitude. Can be turned around with a positive attitude, right? Those are life affirmations, right? And then here's my music.
Oh, you have to tell us to your purpose. There was you said. So there was a tell us from Uncle Mike.
Uncle Mike, all right, Uncle Mike, thank you so much. Well, God's purpose for everyone is not to wait to go to heaven to manifest heavenly things. God's purpose for us is to manifest heaven right here on earth. I mean, in every aspect of our life, God wants heaven to come down. He's not waiting for us to come up. He wants us to manifest heaven here. Right? Manifest heaven here. You're not waiting to go to heaven. We're manifesting heaven here. That's everybody's goal. Is we say in our mind, when we get to heaven, man, ain't gonna be no more hatred, right? We'll start manifesting lack of hatred here. Right? When we get to heaven, man, it ain't gonna be no more sorrow. Well, let's start helping people overcome sorrow while we're here. Let's overcome our sorrows while we're here. Right? When we get to heaven, man, we can think about where we're going and be there. Like, you know how many people used to preach that? When you get to heaven, man, you're going to be thinking about it and you're going to be over there. You think about it, you're going to be there. No, manifest that here. If you could think about teleportation in heaven, you could think about teleportation on earth, right? If you could think about shape shifting in heaven, you can think about shape shifting on earth, right? Okay, I'm getting up with you. I love it.
Fear says, what if? Faith says, even if.
That. Amen.
I like that.
Amen.
I like that.
I mean, Jesus was a perfect example of how we should live on earth. He's our number one example of what we should be manifesting on earth. Everything that Jesus manifested on earth, we should be manifesting on earth. If you're looking at it that way, you say, I believe in Jesus, and he's in me and I'm in him and we are one, right? Then the closer you get to him, the more you manifest like him. Right? I mean, look, I wanted to be Gus Williams, Dr. J, Earl the Pearl Monroe, Walt Frazier, right? The more I emulated those moves, the more at least one of those moves became mine. I became my Walt Frazier around the back, my Earl the Pearl Monroe spin, the one-handed floater like Dr. J, right? I mean, the jump shot like Jerry West, right? The closer you get, the more you manifest like you want, the more you manifest like the thing you're trying to become, right? And so here's my music and movie of the week, right? The Prince of Egypt. Remember, I don't know, you can't find it anymore, but I do see the songs up there. But Kirk Franklin did a thing for the movie. It was the R&B version of it, of the movie, of the soundtrack. People, Let My People Go. You remember that? It had this serious beat. Can't play it on here, but it had this serious beat. And how can I go a whole year, right, and not recognize, man, my movie, right? Before the week is out, I'm going to see this movie. It's a Wonderful Life. Before, George. I love it. And then how can I go out of 2024, right, and not recognize my person of the week, Jesus?
Oh.
And I had a lot of persons of the week this year, but Jesus is the person of the week today. He's the person of the week today, tomorrow,
drop the mic.
Next year.
That's it. It's over now. We can close the show out. Should made that last.
Yeah, man. Hey, he's the person of the week.
Person of the week. Person of
right.
The
Hey,
year.
I don't know if you knew.
Person of the year.
Right. I don't know. You see on television, right? You see on television all the time. They always bring up on shows. Here's the book. Here's the book of the week, or here's the book of the year, right? Here's a bestseller, the number one bestseller, right? Books. You know what the number one bestseller is every single year?
Bible.
The Bible. Every year. How can that be? How can it be the number one best-selling book is the Bible every year, right? And it has been for years. It has to be something to it. If it's number one, it's the most books ever sold in history, right? Oh man, I think y'all get my point going into 2025. It ain't about politics, right? It ain't about none of that stuff. It's about God going into 2025. It's about the kingdom going into 2025.
Come on now. I feel a sermon coming up. I need to play off the thing. We only on this. I'm just saying,
Yeah, 2025 is all about God. Trust God. Get closer to God, right? Because we're in the kingdom age, right? And he reigns and rules over everything, no matter what you see in violence, no matter who's in politically, right? God is still in charge. And if you trust him going into from 2024 to 2025, you're going to have an amazing 25 when we put God back first.
Monica says when people realize the truth, they run to the manual.
That's right.
The truth manual.
Amen.
The word. The Bible.
Hey, but here's the key.
Basic instructions before leaving Earth.
Here's the key. Here's the key. We must become disciples. Mm-hmm. We must engage ourselves in discipleship, right? We must be aware of people, our neighbors. We must be aware of people on our jobs. We must be aware of people in our schools and kids and family. We must be aware of people on the street, and we need to go and disciple them, right? We need to manifest heaven's love here on earth. The fruit of the Spirit, we need to manifest like never before. As we go into 2025, the fruit of the Spirit must be alive in 2025. We must show gentleness and kindness and peace and love and joy, right? And we have to become long-suffering when we think people are not moving when we want them to move, right? And then we need to understand what the seven spirits of God, because those are the things, those are the tools that the wisdom and the might that God flows through us that allow us to accomplish the things that need to be accomplished in 2025. So two things: manifest the fruit of the Spirit and manifest the seven spirits of God. All right.
Yes, the word is doing. I say that all the time. It's about discipleship.
Yes.
Yes, and amen.
Who have you spoke to late? Who have you loved lately? Right? When you stop thinking about you, Zig Ziglar said, if I help enough people get what they want, ultimately I get what I want.
Yes.
Right? And so we need to be more conscious of how people feel, what they're going through, and we need to manifest the love of God to those people and help. Oh, don't just anoint my head with some oil. Right? And then say, I'm praying for you. I'm going to pray for you. And then we walk away and we never pray. Right? We need to be in the application of doing discipleship.
Right, right.
All right.
Okay.
So,
You ready?
yeah.
I guess I'll join you now. So 2024.
All right.
Okay, like our shirts.
Yeah, this Christmas, this Christmas, we had each year we have a theme for Christmas.
Okay.
I didn't come up with the theme this year. Last year was movies. So you see, if the picture you've seen of It's a Wonderful Life, right? With the kids all around George and stuff like that. We had a T-shirt made, right? We had a T-shirt made, and we did a reenactment of It's a Wonderful Life. So we had our grandkids around us. We took the same exact picture. Because it was movie themes last year. And then on the back of it, we had Love and Basketball. We had done a reenactment of Love and Basketball with the two people who are holding the ball up and they giving themselves a kiss, right? And we reenacted that picture as well. And then, so this year, I mean, we've had the M&Ms, we had Marvel. Yeah, that picture there. We had Marvel. We had Marvel Christmas. We had all kind of Christmases, man. You think of it, we had every kind of Christmas you could think of, right? But this year, my wife came up with it because Lozy is traveling, right? Lozy is traveling around the nation, and he's doing Ain't Too Proud, the Broadway show, right? The Broadway show, Ain't Too Proud. And we just thought that music was so prevalent in our lives, so impactful in our lives. We seen the show last week. We went down to North Carolina to visit our brothers and sisters. And we went to see Lozy in Wilmington, North Carolina, right? Wilmington, North Carolina. We went to see Lozy and Ain't Too Proud. And my wife came up with the theme in honor of him, right? Instead of the Motown Christmas, it says on our shirt, the Moortown Christmas. It was so since we were hosting Christmas, you see the Jackson 5, which is my favorite, all of them, the Jackson 5. And then the album says, the little record that Motown had, that little blue thing right there with all the colors, it says Moortown. Right? More families, more town, Christmas celebration, right? We always have a theme, right? Yeah. More town. You in more town.
Now wait, here's the one we did last year.
Last year. That's the one we did last year.
That was our T-shirt.
That's our T-shirt for last year. And then we had the M&Ms and we had the NBA, yeah.
Them kids are big now. You probably can't hold the coat on your back no more.
Yeah, but that was our reenactment. Each year, I don't know if you guys have a theme, a theme for this year, going in 2025, more life.
Okay.
More life.
More life?
More life, yeah. Okay. I want to enjoy life.
Okay.
Right? I'm giving it all I got.
Okay.
And I want people to enjoy life too.
Okay.
Yeah. So let's talk about a year in review. I mean, there's some thoughts that you might have about your year. If you looking back at your year, right? You're looking back at your year and you're thinking like, hey, because you got to look back to move forward. right? You got to look at, first of all, you got to have a goal. I don't know what the goal is for, coming up, but, I know people going to have what they call it as we going from 24 to 25.
Resolutions.
People going to have resolutions. And the discipline, right? The question is that for a resolution is when you get to this period of time and you look back and you ask yourself, did I complete the resolution? Did I complete it? Right? Because that's the goal. If you could make them, but if you can't complete them, right? That's another whole story. But yeah, let's make those resolutions. Let's set those goals, right, at higher levels, higher frequencies, because God wants more from us.
Okay.
Yeah. So as we look back, and we particularly the Blueprint podcast, man.
Now you went back to October on this one, right?
Yeah, I went back to October. Let's go right straight through those.
Okay.
Yeah, because it kind of set up from where we go. Go back to October.
October 23.
Yeah.
Okay.
When I think about the women that we had up there, just amazing. We had
Dr. Brown.
Dr.
With
Brown.
The wheels train. Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, remember she did the wheelchair.
Wildestrian.
Yeah. She ended up. I need to contact her again and see how far she's gotten, but she got a long way in regards to so many deaths were caused by people who are in wheelchairs trying to cross the street. She came up with an idea that would be added to the the walk. You say you can walk down, the little man that you have up there, and they have now in some cities all over the country have put up these wheelchair signs so people can be aware. Not only are pedestrians walking across the street, but there are wheelchair people walking, because sometimes people can't see the wheelchair people crossing the street. Right. And so they came up with legislation and came up with the technology in order to put in every city. Every city must have these so that we can, stop this, lower the rate of accidents with wheelchairs, people not seeing the wheelchair crossing the street. And it was just powerful.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
And we have my girl Judith.
Yeah.
We just went to her event just recently, and
we was just at her gala.
Yeah, she's doing a great job with the Westchester Community Health Center, and they just had a wonderful gala at the VIP. Was it the Glen Island?
Glen Island.
Glen Island. Yeah, it was a
Glen
great
Island.
job.
Yeah, great job.
She's done a great job, and if you've not used the neighborhood health center in Mount Vernon, they've done some great renovations and great work over there, and so we'd like for you guys to definitely go over and support.
Yeah, and if you're looking for health care, dental care, health care, right, and you can't, you're having some problems financially in doing that, that's the place to go. They're now not only in Mount Vernon, but they're starting to branch out all over Westchester, right? Mm-hmm. And then, of course, we're always continually praying for the Mount Vernon school system, and Dr. Veronica Smith. We want our education system to be the very best. We want nothing but best for our school system. And we need to keep praying for them, man. We need to keep praying for our administrators, for our principals, for our teachers, and for our families that are attending our school districts, all not only just in Mount Vernon, but all over. Our kids definitely need to be. We need to combat literacy.
Going back to what you had talked about with the pandemic, it's one of the things that also suffered during that time period was the way children were educated. And yes, it gave us the opportunity to have a virtual training and to handle emergencies. Snow days no longer have to be the type of snow days because people can do virtual education and stuff like that. But there's something about the personal touch of having the kids come to school and see teachers and meet with their families and things like that. So investing into your school districts, something that is very important for all of us. And I know for those of us who are older, like myself, and you.
I'm being regenerated.
Who are taxpayers?
I'm in the regeneration process.
Who are taxpayers, but our children are no longer in the school, right? Some people, once their kids get out of school, they're no longer invested in the taxes that are needed to support, the school district, but we have grandkids in the school, right? And so it's important to still do what's necessary so that kids can get the best education, so that you can get the best teachers and the best equipment. It's just something that's needed. And sometimes we get afraid to talk about the importance of the fact that taxes in order to pay these things, taxes have to be raised. So people want to win elections by saying things like, we're not going to raise your taxes. But the reality is, in order to get to be the best, you have to raise the taxes. Now, once you get the taxes, you got to use the money the correct way in order to make sure that you're investing into your kids. And so, I'm a supporter of doing whatever it takes to make sure that the Mount Vernon School District has the best educators and the best equipment and things that's necessary for our kids.
Yeah, and I mean, we think God is no thinking. God is number one. As we go into 2024, going 2020, God's number one, right? Number two is family, right? And number three is education, right? Our kids, we need to get the results in our school districts that we're looking to get. We need to have them, right? Because there's a competitive world out there, and we need to prepare our kids for that. Right, and if they can't read and they can't write and they can't, fulfill the assignments, because that's the most important things out there, right? I think everybody, all the churches, everybody that's educated, need to get involved, right? And make sure that our school districts are number one, right? And then hold them. And here's the other thing: if you're going to give them your tax money, you got to hold them accountable as well.
Absolutely. And I think that's what's really, we hear so many things about money being used for this, money using for that, but there should be an accountability trail, to make sure that if the money is, the taxes are being collected, that it's being used in the correct way. So, going forward, we really need to make sure that we do what's best. Mike said he's invested, as he teaches and works in the district, but he also pays taxes because he's the homeowner, and so that's one of those things that we need to do and think about. Parents definitely need to invest. Across the board. My little ones are not getting what we got. So my little ones are not getting what we got to go with what they are getting. Okay, I think that's what I said. I think I said it right. But it's definitely a different culture now. So we've got to get to a place, that we're thinking about, totally educating, that we are educating our young people. Definitely.
Yeah.
The A word. I hope the A word is the accountability word.
And I'll say this too about education, man. My mom raised 4 kids. Right, and we all end up graduating high school, and we all furthered our education, right, in terms of higher education. And I mean, she did it by herself. I mean, so what somebody mentioned about parents, you are the advocates for your kids.
Actually, the first educators.
Yeah.
Parents are the first educators. You teach your kids how to speak. You teach them. You help them to walk. You help them to, to communicate. One of the things that, I don't know if, we didn't, I didn't show it, but, one of the things that I'm teaching our grandkids is how to sign language, right? Because sign language is so important, and it's just something that I'm going to continuously do, and I just taught them the other day, babysitting them. I taught them colors. I taught them certain things. And so they're like, Ma, dad, baby, red, pink, purple, like they're going through the whole thing. And they're really serious about it. And they learned it like that.
And they love it. Yeah. Cause when your kids are young, right, they're an empty slate and they're excited about what to learn next. And they pick it up, and this, they'll either you want them to pick up something positive, right, or you'll end up teaching them something negative. They will pick up on both of them fast, right? And I always say, look, hey, start with the positive route, and let me say this to you: if you can't do it yourself, now if you struggle, I always believe that, man, somewhere down the line, if you're struggling in terms of reading and writing and stuff like that, it's never too late. There are people who are now in their 70s, man, who never got an opportunity to graduate from high school, who are now graduating from high school, some going to college. Their grandparents going to college being educated, right? So
right, well, let's go to November because we could be on this all day.
Oh, yeah. So
So in November, you had an opportunity to interview Norm Nixon, great guy, Ray Negron, and then you also had an opportunity to work with Reginald Howard. We had a little do-over. We had some issues with him previously, and Alunga Edel. And so definitely these were some great interviews. Norm Nixon was cool, he was definitely a cool interview, so yeah.
Well, yeah, but then real quickly, the Negro League player.
Oh, nice.
I mean, he was in his 90s, who played in the Negro League, and Ray Negron. I mean, Negron, who was a bat boy. Mm-hmm. He was the bat boy for him. That's been working for the Yankees forever. Now, story's amazing. And Ilonga was a writer for many of the shows, Good Times and all the TV shows, Good Times back in the day, man. Great.
Yeah, some good acting folks.
Yeah, some good folks.
December, you finished with Buck. Is that Buck Williams?
That's Buck Williams.
Buck Williams. Oh man, he was one of the baddest rebounders with the Nets. Yes, and Dwayne Brown. Oh my goodness. And then you and I closed out the year last year as we're doing this year. Yeah. Buck, man. Buck was, man, we were just talking about him the other day. He was like a chiseled, he was like a chiseled Adonis, man. He had muscles everywhere. He snatched that rebound. I was like, Buck is man.
Yeah, but babe, you said that kind of like,
Oh, you the man. Buck was the basketball man.
But check this out. Buck has been, we're going to be praying for Buck because Buck is now more than one time nominee for Hall of Fame. He should be in the Hall of Fame already. Gus Williams was this year was his first time nominee for Basketball Hall of Fame. Right, and we're pushing for Gus and Buck to get into Hall of Fame.
It would be nice if they went together, Williams and Williams.
Williams go together. Yeah. Buck and Gus, and then we always like bringing on local, because sometimes you people out there doing great things nationally, but when you bring on somebody locally who's doing some great stuff, like Dwayne Brown doing the events thing.
Oh, right. He's a really excellent event planner. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's business mind. He's business minded, right?
Yeah, he focused.
Yeah, he zeroes in on stuff, and it's like if you want detail, you're gonna pay for it.
Yeah, you're gonna pay for it.
Because you know how
we are. Well, you ought to pay for it.
You know how we are, and Kelly Gardner's like this as well, right? They do a great job. They're very detailed. They plan things, right? Mm-hmm. And then people don't really want to pay for the stuff that they do because it costs money. But if you want goods, you gotta pay good. You pay other people.
Yeah. The other thing is, if you want to do something spectacular, you gotta save for it.
Yep. So you got to make sure that if you want something good and you want it done right and you call Dwayne, you will get it. It will be done right.
That's right.
You're going to pay for it, but it's going to be done right.
That's right.
Okay, so that was January. We went into 2025 and we started out with our main man, Apostle Paul Sherrill. Oh my goodness, he started out the year giving us some good stuff. And those of you who don't know, Paul had open heart surgery just a couple of weeks ago, and he got out of surgery and called us on the phone. Who does that? Who has open heart surgery? He said, I just wanted you to see me. I was like, we see you. Oh my goodness. But that's my man.
And he's progressing. And if you don't get a chance this Sunday he'll be sharing this Sunday.
He'll be preaching again? Oh.
Yeah, I don't know whether he's going to be, I know he's going to be live, 11 o'clock on YouTube, Pastor Paul Sherrill, Christ Revealed Embassy. Mm-hmm. He's going to be sharing on that Sunday, on this Sunday coming up.
Listen, he's a good man. I'm sure he's got a testimony.
And they had my man Gary McIntosh all the way from the Bahamas.
Man. Yeah. We got to go. We told him we were going to come visit him, right?
Yeah, we're going to come visit.
Yes.
Yeah, we're gonna come visit
we got maybe
Gary
this year,
in the Bahamas this year.
2025,
we coming to see you, Gary. I know he's probably on. He ain't on yet, but and then we had
that lady, she was Sandy Gregory.
Sandy Gregory worked 40, almost 50 years for the Seattle Seahawks. She's connected to Gus Williams. She met Gus Williams as a freshman at USC in college. They've been friends ever since. She launched and started the Sonic Foundations, the Supersonic Legends Foundation. They support Gus Williams and Slick Watts. You remember Slick Watts? Yeah. He had a stroke.
Oh.
right?
Slick
Back
too?
before Gus. Yeah, back before Gus, and then
He was
Gus.
bald headed. He used to wear a
well,
white
he's
headband, right?
A white headband on his head,
yeah.
and their fund supports all of Gus and Slick's health care, medical,
That is
and
so awesome.
and everything that they need.
And then we had the Reverend, the pastor,
Yeah.
the 7-foot pastor. Yo,
my
man.
teammate at West Virginia University, Junius.
Now we
Lewis.
did that live.
Yeah, we did it live from West Virginia last
Virginia.
year. We were in West Virginia, and with Junius, doing great things. Still in West Virginia, doing great things.
Yeah. Oh no! And then we came in with Jordan Lucas.
Oh,
Oh
yeah.
my God! What a great interview.
Yeah,
Great young man.
NFL,
Yeah,
New Rochelle, New York.
Yeah, he was with the Kansas City Chiefs. Won the Super Bowl.
Won a Super Bowl.
And just like his brother-in-law Ray won the Super Bowl.
Won the Super
And he was
Super Bowl.
married to my former player and I call him one of my other spiritual daughters, Taylor Palmer. So yeah, I love
Taylor
it.
Lucas.
Taylor Lucas.
Yeah, and
he's now coaching at Penn State.
Penn
and
State.
they're in the playoffs tonight. That's so pretty awesome. And then you had, let me see, who's this? The All-Star game. So we did an All-Star show on that Saturday morning. And then you came back and you did the environmental leaders.
Yeah.
The leaders of color. That was a pretty awesome one. And then you had Cassie Russell.
Yeah, former
Cassie
Russell.
Former New York Nick. And he also was in the CBA, right? Or Campy was in the Campy was in the CBA. Cassie coached, right?
Cassie, he stepped out to the CBA for a minute. He showed him how to do it, and then he went back to coaching. But he's an NBA legend. He's a New York Knicks legend. Cassie Russell. He's a pastor.
Was he related to Campy?
No, not
Oh, he
related to
wasn't.
Campy.
Oh wow!
No, he's not related to Campy Russell.
Okay.
College legend. He amazing. Look up him. And then, man, the whole month
Of February.
of February, we did
You did. Pretty much.
29 days of love. The Love Challenge coming to you soon.
Well, here's the problem with the love revolution. Well, no, this is not the problem. Let me tell you about the love revolution. What the love revolution did for me. I can speak for me only. I'm being selfish at this moment. For those of you out there in TV land, or shall I say Streamland, Mr. Moore here did not know how to do his own podcast. I had to always be behind the scenes doing all the stuff, right? So what the Love Revolution did was it taught him how to do his own stuff. Now he knows how to upload his pictures, and he knows how to put the all the stuff on the that you see at the bottom, the scrolling at the bottom. He knew how to upload the videos. And so for the month of February, not only was it the Love Revolution, but Trees was free. I was free because he knew how to. I always say, give a man a fish, you'll eat for a day. Teach him to fish, you eat for a lifetime. So he just went fishing. So happy for the fishing on that day.
Hey, don't forget the Love Revolution is coming
In February. Then you had Phil Hubbard. Well, you were working at NBA this year.
Yeah.
You had Phil Hubbard, and Phil played in the NBA and did some
just
great
the
things.
Cleveland Cavaliers, great. Michigan too. When you going from Cassie, who was a All-American at Michigan, and then you went to Phil Hubbard, who was at Michigan as well.
Wow! And then you came and you did some King Movement stuff.
Yeah, that was
The National Summit.
The National Summit
You tried
in
to go
Cleveland.
live, and that was where we were just trying to. You had a hard time going live a little bit there,
Yeah.
but we're gonna work that out.
and then we did a post. Man, it was a great weekend, and also it was the same weekend that we had the memorial for my mentor and Father James Jones, the legend at the Boys and Girls Club, the Sonics. I went to the summit. I could only stay. I stayed Friday. I think I got there Thursday. I was there Friday all day and had to fly back out Saturday morning so that I could be at the memorial for.
That was
James
one of the busiest weekends I think of
And then
of
you were in-
2024 because that was when Sherelle and Steve with Stony Brook, they were playing in DC for the CAA championships, and it was also my cousin Larry's.
So you were in
services.
Charlotte.
No, I was in DC. I went from DC. I went to DC Thursday. Then the game was on Friday. They had a game Thursday. I think they won. Then they had a game on Friday that they won, or something like that. And I ended up flying out after the game on Friday to Charlotte because my cousin Larry's service was on Saturday. After the service was over, I flew back to DC. Then they had a game, they won, and then they played the championship on Sunday. And you then came on Sunday morning because
Right,
Kurt
I
and
flew-
Carla were in town for Jimmy Jones and Cookie's service, right? Because your
Right.
cousin Cookie passed away also.
Yeah, that was
and her
crazy. That
service
was a
Friday.
crazy weekend. I mean, I flew back in from Cleveland to be at the memorial. Then I got up on Sunday morning and drove to DC for the championship, man. You know, remember I was talking to you about those highs and lows. I mean, in that 2024, there was highs and lows that happened, and but we here today.
But one of the lows for me for 2024 was definitely losing my cousin Larry.
Yeah,
That was a shocker, and that happened. I found out about that on Valentine's Day. We had a big snowstorm and I'd spent the night at work. It was Friday the 13th. I mean the Tuesday the 13th or something like that. I stayed over till Wednesday morning, and I got a call that my cousin had passed away from a heart attack. So that was like a real
Yeah.
shocker. If anybody knows our cousin Larry, man, he was the funniest, the
He was the best.
lovingest, the most kindest, young man. And, he was my big cousin. He was my big little cousin because he was shorter than me, but he was older than me, but by a year. But, we definitely miss him. He was, sometimes I drive and I go, Larry, you shouldn't have done that. I've been talking to him and
And
stuff.
the thing is, he was every Sunday he was a supporter of the Blueprint.
Oh yeah, he was on
He
that
was up
blueprint.
every Sunday, like so many of you, man. And it was a crazy week. I mean,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Wait, let's get past more. I can't talk anymore about that. Let's roll into April. Oh yes, April. You had Darius Nichols from Radford University. He's the head coach at Radford, and he actually played at Radford High School, right?
played at Radford High School, and
he's a Hall of
he's
Fame.
an alumnus like me from West Virginia University. He was a
Virginia,
point
yeah.
guard at West Virginia University as well. And
Wow, nice.
yeah.
Then you had Keisha Mayo. Keisha came. She did her play, by the way. Let me just back up on that. She did her play, Love Conquers All, a couple of weeks after this, like in May. And what was awesome about that play was it came back around in October. And it was sold out so much in October that it's coming back around again in March. In October, we did the play at Lehman College, and this March, on the 15th, it'll also be at Lehman College, but it'll be in a 500-seat theater. I'm going to just pitch it. I'm going to probably start putting it up, the slides or the flyers up on the blueprint for the rest of the time until we get to the show. We really want to sell it out again. 500 seats. It's a great play. I do all the technology as usual, but come on and join us out. And so that's Keisha Mayo and Love Conquers All. Then we had one of the most exciting shows.
Yeah.
Travis
my man
Archer.
Travis Archer.
Oh
yeah,
my gosh.
my guy, our godson Travis, so amazing, man. And we had a great time with Travis, man. He was just woo.
Travis was on the spectrum, but you wouldn't know it.
Yeah.
He's
graduated school, graduated
Mercy.
college.
From Mercy
Yeah. Oh,
University,
man.
and he wants to be a film writer. And listen, somebody's gonna pick him up one day. It's gonna pick up his writings one day. They're gonna do it. We're speaking that into existence. Then you had your man Jan
Van Bredikoff. Yeah, I had him
Mike
on.
said, "Pencil me in for Love Conquers All. We got you, bro." Jan Van Bredikoff. Oh my gosh, yeah, I remember him back in the day.
Yeah,
Sure.
he was on the Nets with me
It
when
was
I
a
was a
great
rookie.
interview.
Yeah,
Great interview. You came back with Kevin Bunch. That's my little brother, y'all. In case y'all want to know, he's a
Yeah.
social worker like me. I will never forget one day
he does paramedics too, right?
He's listen,
EMT?
He's got a lot of skills. He plays chess. He's a man. He does a lot of things. He's on the board of YCOP. He's got two beautiful sons, a beautiful wife, so Kevin Bunch was a great interview. And I remember when he passed his social work exam, and I would hire him as a director in a minute, but he got so many things on his plate. But he is a really great guy. So Kevin Bunch, shout out to you.
Then we did Mother's Day. Can't forget Mother's Day. Mother's Day's every day. Man, honor and salute your mothers every day. There's no day off for Mother's Day.
And we got a great mom, and your mom, we share her. His mom, let me tell you something. She one of the baddest. He said, Kevin's one of his favorite cousins. He's I'm telling you right now, your mom is one of the baddest cooks and bakers there is out there.
I'm feeling a little bit right now because I had them 7-layer chocolate chip, 7-layer cookies.
And I had the coffee cake.
Coffee cake.
I know that we're going on a Daniel fast, so I'm trying to eat up all other stuff she gave us before we go on the Daniel
Man, I think
fast.
Daniel ran away from me last year.
Yeah, Daniel ran fast.
Yeah, Daniel ran fast. Yeah, I got we had the brownies with the nuts and brownies without the nuts. We had the coffee cake. Oh, man.
Oh yeah, no, it was cool. It was cool. Yeah, no, but shout out to your mother for Mother's Day. For all the mothers, like you said, when we did Mother's Day
all the
last
mothers,
year.
and then my man.
Oh, Miguel.
Yeah, Miguel, man. Miguel was awesome. Man, awesome interview, man.
That's
I did a couple of things. Yeah, did a couple of things with Miguel, man. Trained Miguel in basketball, man. And he's doing great things. And then Steve Vaccaro.
Steve.
In the Chapters Rap.
So Steve, what's so powerful about Steve, for those of you who do not know, when Lowe's first started doing the blueprint, it was done by one of his friends, really, Rich Douglas. He put it together, but Steve picked it up. And he and his team ran the blueprint for about a year, about a year.
Doing what you were doing.
Doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
Right. And so, so shout out to Steve for teaching us how to get to the next level, because he was giving us the fish. And then we learned how to fish. And once we learned how to fish, we were able to take this on our own. So thank you, Steve.
And Steve is the Chapters Rap. Started out with Chapters Rap radio show. And then now it's the Chapters Rap network. He got a host of shows. He's launched so many people into the podcasting, into all that television
and he
shows.
works with he's also I think he's got a psychology, he's his doctorate in psychology or something.
Yeah, and he's helping with the Boys and Girls Club with the mental health, in terms of Mount Vernon, the mental health program in Mount Vernon and stuff like that.
Shout out to Steve. Hold on, shout out to Steve Vaccaro. And let's go into June. Oh yeah, in June we had the All-Star game. So
there's Lawrence Funderburg. He was amazing.
He was really
if you didn't see Lawrence Funderburg show,
oh wow,
Lawrence is amazing, man. He's amazing, man. So many people you got to have back on, but he was amazing.
Yeah, he's somebody you got to get back.
Yeah, he's amazing.
Then we have my big bro.
Yeah.
He's the
Mike Hammett.
Hero. He's always supporting the blueprint. But if you know anything about this guy right here, he's got a heart full of gold. He has basically raised so many of us in the city of Mount Vernon. So we have to shout out my big brother Mike Hammett. Yo, I love you. Let me tell you a story about Mike. Nope, I can't do it. I was gonna do it, but I felt myself crying. Let me see if I can. Let me get my laughter at. One day when my dad was really sick, when he was just before he died, like about a month, 2 months before he died, he was at home. He was on hospice, and he fell out the bed, and the lady couldn't get him up off of the floor, and I called Mike, and Mike came over, and he lifted my father's weight off of the floor and onto the bed as gently as when I tell you that man was right there for us. Yo, Mike Hammett, you the man. I'm telling you, I love you tremendously.
Yeah.
So Mike, and then you had
Etan Thomas.
He was also a good interview.
Yeah, he was a great interviewer.
You got these NBA players that were really stepping out and going to a whole nother level. Etan was an excellent interview.
Yeah.
Oh my God!
If you didn't get a chance to see these interviews,
Funderburg and Etan were like.
What's the word you say?
What's that?
It stays on.
In perpetuity.
In perpetuity.
Yes, that means it's not coming off.
It's not coming off. So check it out on YouTube or check it out on Lowe's More the Blueprint on YouTube and Lowe's More the Blueprint on Facebook. And don't forget the PNN.
Oh, PNN Network for sure, for sure. So we had Philip Rucker. Oh, so anybody knows anything about Rucker Park?
Rucker Park. Yep. Holcomb Rucker and his son Philip Rucker were on the Blueprint podcast. It was a great interview, you know, and it was amazing, man. It was amazing time, man. Talking about the Rucker, right? Yeah, talking about the Rucker.
Yep, and you know, Uncle Mike's getting all the shout outs because he deserves it.
And let me tell you about that real quick about Philip Rucker, right? It was so crazy. I went to do a licensed vendor for the New York City School District, right? And I was at a vendor's fair.
Yeah.
And so all day long we were doing different things. I end up meeting Aaron. What's Aaron?
Barnett.
Aaron Barnett, who was way back here. I worked for his mother in Albany, and he was in my hoop school in Albany. I ended up meeting him, who was a part of an organization. Then I was just happened to be talking to this guy. He walked by, man. I told him he looked like a baller. I said, man, I was telling everybody that you look like a baller, you know. And he said, nah, I really didn't ball, man. I didn't do ball, but you know, you might know my grandfather. I said, well, who's your grandfather? He said, Holcomb Rucker. I was like, what? I just had your father on my podcast, Philip Rucker, right? And he was in charge of all the New York City school district vendoring, right? It was so crazy, man.
It's a small world after all. And then you jumped into July. We had what a great show with Wiley and Daryl.
Yeah,
listen,
the Mount Vernon.
The Mount Vernon
reunion.
The reunion. Listen, Wiley and Daryl were great. They were awesome. Their energy was excellent. You know, and right after, you know, they had the reunion, you know, Daryl had come out and talked about that he was battling cancer. And so, you know, we're going out with Team Squirt, you know, everywhere. You know, we continue to support him. He sent me a message the other day and said, listen, your son's in Charlotte, right? And I said, yes. And he said, well, I want to come and see him. So let me tell you, shout out to Wiley and Squirt. My brothers, you know, from Mount Vernon High School, truly, truly good.
And then 4th of July, right? We did the family
one.
Yeah, we did the family one, 4th of July. Family is always important. I mean, family, faith, and education is the blueprint model.
And then you finished up with Manny and Keith.
Keith Danzy, he's the coach, right? He's the coach at Hudson Valley Community College upstate in Albany, in Troy, New York. And he was one of my hoop schoolers, and all my guys came on. You know, we had Boozer, Omar, all them guys came on from the hoop school that I started in Albany, New York, along with Derek Rowland and Kenny Nat. And then Manny Maldonado, the Chosen. I mean, his ministry, his basketball ministry is just amazing. He went from FCA, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, to start his own basketball ministry, man. Love that. I love Manny, man. He got just a beautiful heart.
Nice, you know? Nice. And you came up in August. Oh, you had Amir Ainsworth. And now we had just seen him we had gotten honored with Journey to the Cross and Beyond, which reminds me, I'm going to bring this up, is that we owe them $250. I'm going to put that out there. We have not forgotten. But, you know, Journey to the Cross and Beyond, they actually support children to get education in Nigeria. And we haven't had them on. I don't think we've had them on, right?
No, we haven't.
We probably need to get them on. But they have a program where they educate children in Nigeria, because in Nigeria they don't get free education or good education the way we do. And so we were honored by them, by Kay and her husband, and we wanted to make sure that we support them, and so anybody who can help a child get education through Journey to the Cross and Beyond, we want to support that. $250 will educate a young child in Nigeria for a full year, and they actually go to Nigeria pick out the kids, work with the kids, and then they connect you with your kid, and they let you know about their education. So we owe them to make sure that we finalize our commitment of $250 to them. But that's where we met Amir, because this is Amir's aunt, and Amir came and did a whole big presentation for you and his art. So it was great. His rapping. So, Tony Citron, man, oh my goodness, we got to go see him too. He has like jazz. He does jazz music, right?
He's a percussionist, right? He's a
Oh,
drummer,
goodness,
man, just
so
amazing. We've known him forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's been with some amazing acts. I mean, he's drummed for them. I mean, he's just awesome, man. And then we had the great Jeff Dixon, manager.
Man. Ludacris's manager.
Ludacris's manager, and Jeff's doing some amazing things on his own with his, his businesses and stuff like that, along with Greg Rogers, right? And that was an amazing interview.
Mount Vernon High School got it going on. Let me tell you.
Yeah, he's from Mount Vernon. Tony's from Mount Vernon.
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right. Amir's from
Mount Vernon.
Yes,
Yep.
we did
And
that
then
thing.
we ended up with Jesse Owens.
Overton, Jesse Overton, not Owens.
That's right. He didn't run no track.
No, no.
Jesse Overton. I mean, he's got an amazing education company out in Minnesota.
Yeah.
Right. I mean, I want to, pray for him. Not too long after we had this interview, and he was in the midst of going to see Losey in Minnesota, and Ain't Too Proud. His wife passed suddenly. Right. And they call me. Him and Bill Henry. They called me, said they was thinking about me, man. They called me saying they thinking about me. I should have been called Jesse and thinking about him. And but we got to talk, man. We were laughing and joking and stuff like that, man. But if you're looking for your child to improve your child's education,
Connect with Jesse Overton.
yeah, connect with Jesse Overton, man. I mean, he's got some amazing products
Now
to
we
help
got
the kids.
another unsung hero, Mr. Grimes.
Al
Wow.
Grimes, yeah, Mr. Grimes.
Yeah, my track coach when I was growing up. But an educator. He had a great story. Great story.
Yep, he's my elementary school gym teacher.
We should probably do a couple of more unsung heroes.
Yeah.
For before in 2025. Angela Hall. What a great interview she was.
Yeah, that was great.
The energy she brings, the talent. She is a gifted, talented woman who is giving back to our young people at the Denzel Washington School of the Arts. And I loved her interview because, I mean, she was so energetic. She was truly energetic. And then you had Herbert Daughtry.
Yeah, the Reverend.
The Reverend.
Yeah, that was a tough interview right there. But this guy's a walking history book. I mean, he's a legend, right? And still in his 90s, and he's still preaching. Man, still going to prisons. He goes to prisons, visits the prison every Sunday morning. He's up at the prisons, visiting inmates and stuff like that. I mean, just amazing walk with Jesse Jackson, Al Sharpton. I mean, this guy's a legend, man.
He's like 100 years old. Did we see him?
Yeah, we did see him.
Yeah, recently.
Yeah, we seen him, and he was at the event.
He prayed, right?
Yeah, he did pray.
Wow.
Yeah, he's still running around.
Then we had the WABA Final Four podcast. Man, that was
good.
Powerful.
Yeah, that was a good one.
Yeah, that was with Marsha and Brian. But then we actually went to the All-Star game, and we had all the kids, all the players on.
Yeah,
right? The
from
kids
the
to us,
All-Star.
but it was pretty awesome. And you finished up. Now, let me tell you, this show with Janelle and Chelsea hit the jackpot. Like, they came in
were awesome.
and they talked about being doulas, Christian doulas, and what they do, and helping mothers to give childbirth, and the stories that they told, and the mothers that spoke about them. These are two young ladies who I absolutely adore. Janelle is in North Carolina and Chelsea's in Connecticut, but between the two of them, man, if you need somebody to talk about, to work with you on childbirth. And if I'm not mistaken, Chelsea was recently in a TV series or a little TV thing in reference to this. So power shout out to her. Then you had Chris Bacon.
Chris Bacon, that's the whole wheelchair basketball program. I guess they're the Rollers, right? The
Rolling Fury.
The Rolling Fury. And, of course, my son Isaiah played with Chris's son, when they were in elementary school, middle school, high school, they played together. And Chris Bacon took over the program to continue to allow kids with disabilities opportunities to play wheelchair basketball. And whether you notice or not, some of these individuals are getting full basketball scholarships at universities to compete, right at the college level, and man, just an amazing program. Man, you guys got to get out and see the Rolling Fury, man. You got to. I'm gonna announce when they have games in this area so that you could go see these young kids in the wheelchair. They are amazing, and they got to perform at the Rucker Park when I got honored. At Rucker Park, and then of course, my son-in-law, Coach Steve Pohl.
He's my son-in-love.
Son-in-love.
Yes.
And son-in-love. and you notice I got my hat on today.
Yes.
Because we are leaving here in a little while, and we're going to see the St. John's women's team play
against Creighton.
Against Creighton.
Creighton's scoring a lot of points this year.
Right, and I can't get my foot up. Oh, there I got the shoes. They bought me St. John's shoes. Woo, I got the hat.
He's spoiled. And we are coming into November. Jim Couch.
Yeah, the legendary coach Jim Couch.
No, you got some serious people on this joint right here. You've been working.
Jim Couch, man. He could have been a local, what we call a
unsung hero.
Unsung hero as well, man. Mm-hmm. Just amazing, man. That's November, right? And
then you brought the food man, Brother Barry, man. He's like healthy personified there, dealing with him.
Did y'all start your garden yet? He said, man, get a box, put some good soil in it, and start planting.
Yeah, we might want to do that. That could be a goal for 2025.
Yeah, that could be a goal. We're gonna start a little garden.
Yeah, that might not be a bad thing.
Yeah.
And then you had these next two shows with Chess, the Grandmaster, and with the Project Porn. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
That, and even though our Grandmaster was very soft-spoken, Brewington Hardaway, he had a very soft-spoken way about him. But when you got on that chess, all you hear was click, click, click. He was popping those chess pieces down. He was working it.
And they, Brewington and his father, Elander Hardaway, Dr. Elander Hardaway, they have contacted
Leander
Hardaway. Have contacted Kevin Bunch, and they're going to be doing some stuff with around chess. Hopefully, with the Y-Cop, they're going to be coming up if they haven't already.
Good.
Awesome.
And we finished out December. Bill Alex, and that was a tough one too because he wasn't able to be on video, but he said some really powerful things.
Oh yeah, I mean, Bill is amazing. Started the chaplain program for the NBA, for the CBA, and now for the Big Three basketball. Bill's going all over the world with Sports Power Ministry, man. I mean, every country you could think about, Bill's been there. Right, and Bill's got to be in his 80s. He's still playing. He's still playing ball himself, right? And he loves the Lord. Him and his wife, they love the Lord, and they love sharing the gospel with people. And then we had Craig Wong. I mean that was a great interview. We're looking forward to having his wife on. He's with Westchester County Social Services, and that was an amazing interview. He wants to end homelessness. Right, that's one of his major missions. He's a minister at Pastor Garner's church. Him and his wife, and just a great interview. And then we had got to be the funniest show
of the year. Yeah, no question.
We had Dave and Evelyn Magley. Dave was with me when I was at the Cleveland Cavaliers. We actually roomed together, and then we ended up going to the CBA with the Albany Patroons. We won the CBA championship together, and I ended up being roommates with him and his wife happened to be pregnant at the time. Dave is the all-time funniest guy.
Oh yeah.
If you didn't see, I mean, you should go back in a review because we're doing a review. If there's something that you missed, we spoke about a lot of them today. If there's something that you missed, right? Lowe's More the Blueprint on Facebook, Lowe's More the Blueprint on YouTube, or PNN, which is the Phoenix National Network, on Roku and on the Fire Stick. Check out all the shows are great. All of them are great. If you miss something of the topics, right, that the relevant topics that we shared, the amazing interviews all year long, but Dave and Evelyn are the two funniest interview we had all year long. It was just hilarious because Dave is just a riot all by himself. I don't even know how his wife tolerates him, but he's just funny all the time. I mean, he's just amazing all the time. So,
no question.
And then today. Right.
And so now as we think about 2025, and you asked some pertinent questions in the beginning about what are our goals for 2025, and I like the 365 of the Bible reading. I study a lot anyway. There's a lot of times when we went to North Carolina, every morning I got up, not only was I praying, but I was actually studying. And so I've been studying the Word and getting in the Word, in a powerful way. So I want to continue to do that because I do think that it feeds us and it helps us. And sometimes you could be reading something and you don't understand why you're reading it, or what does it actually bring to what is it bringing to fruition. When is what you're reading going to come to fruition? And so I just kind of like want to stay in that place and get stronger, for me in the Word. I want to get stronger in the Word and stronger in my study. I'm in the process of studying the book of Isaiah right now with my Bible class, and it's been so rich and, so powerful, understanding, the depths of the Word of God. So that's important to me. Ministry-wise, I'd like to see our ministry grow at church. I'd like to see us, witty inventions and strategies, and just think about, work with Pastor and with all those in ministry to figure out how we can do things differently, think outside the box, and grow there. Work-wise, for me, I have a new owner to our company, and so I want to continue to be strong and support that team as we move forward and grow and provide substance abuse treatment services to those that are suffering from the disease of addiction. I've been in this field now, and I never forgot the first time that I interviewed to get into substance abuse. I don't know why I get emotional. The girl said to me, when I interviewed, and she said, "You didn't get here by accident." She said, "You're here for a reason." So Monica, my purpose, I never thought, sometimes you think you're just getting a job, but you might be getting a purpose, right? And so it was 1990, that I started in the field of substance abuse, alcohol and substance abuse, and working with people with addictions. 1990, and I remember, meeting people, and they're like, "I've been in the field for 30 years," and people would say, "I've been in the field for 20 years, and I've been in the field for 40 years," and I'd be looking at them like, "Are you kidding me? 40 years?" You're like, and that's me today. Like, I've been in the field of addictions now for 44 years, right? And for not 44 years, for 34 years, right? So I'm 34 years into the field of addictions, and I don't plan on going anywhere because I see that it's helped so many people. There's so many lives that have been changed and impacted, so, when you think about your purpose, I preached a message, a couple of weeks ago at Macedonia Baptist Church, and the title was "When Your Purpose is greater than your title," right? And a lot of times, or your purpose is greater than your position, and sometimes people want position, they want title, but, they've forsaken their purpose so they can be in a title. right? So they can be in a position, but your purpose is greater than your position. And I used out of that day, out of the book of Esther, how Esther became queen, right? And once she became queen, she could have just sat back in her queendom. She could have just been chill, right? I'm the queen. People could give me fruit. They could do this. I just go to the king whenever the king needs me, once a month or whatever. I could just chill, right? But her purpose was to be there so that her people could be saved, right? Her purpose became greater than her position. Mm-hmm. And when they said to her, listen, her uncle who was her father, or her cousin who was her father, who had raised her, and he basically said, listen, if you don't do what's necessary to save our people, God's going to raise somebody else up to do it. Mm-hmm. And your family would be like that. That was powerful. Like sometimes your purpose is so powerful that if you don't do it, God will put somebody else in place to do what you don't do. Right? And so he was like, if you don't do this thing, God was going to raise somebody else up. And she said, listen, the people have been fasting because they were told they were going to be killed. People were fasting. But she said, listen, fast for me because I'm going to go see the king. I haven't been called to see him, but I got to go see the king. And if I perish, I perish. But I got to go see the king because she knew at that very moment, because her father said to her, how do you know? This was the key word. How do you know that you weren't put in this position for such a time as this?
Yes.
Right? So your purpose, you may not understand it, right? But you might be in position for such a time as this. Right? For such a time as this. So what is your purpose? Is ask God, am I here for a time? Am I here for a long time? Like, what is it? What is it that you have me to do? And what God will reveal to you, and sometimes he'll reveal to you in ways that you don't even realize it. Like, I don't think she ever thought it was going to be revealed to her in the way it was. But you know what happened? When her purpose became greater than her position, when she fasted and prayed and she went before the king, you know what? The king saw her standing in the background. He said, come here. And touched the golden scepter so that she wasn't going to be killed. Right? At that very moment, her place, her position, her purpose was greater than her title. So I'm not worried about my title. I'm worried more about my purpose. I'm worried about what it is that God has for me. So 25, I'm seeking a greater purpose for my life. Not for me, but for what I can do in the kingdom.
Awesome. And hey, look, I don't have to go over mine. I started out with, we at the end of the show, I started out with, on my soapbox, right? She ended on her soapbox. Yeah, send the offering to, but again, I want to say happy holidays. Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah, Happy Kwanzaa, right? And I want to say, and then in advance, Happy New Year.
Yeah, this is our last show for 2024.
2024. We love you. We look forward to seeing you.
And I hope people are going to spend, those of you who don't, we've spent the majority of our married life in church on New Year's Eve. Right? A lot of people go out to the ball drop, people go out to parties and do this, but we spend it on our knees or spend it in church. And we are going to be at Emmanuel Pentecostal Faith Temple on New Year's Eve, and Pastor Robert Williams from White Rock Baptist Church was going to be our speaker. But I know where are you going to be on New Year's Eve? Are you going to be in church? Are you going to be at a party? I pray that you'll be somewhere that you're safe. And that you're acknowledging God for allowing you to transition from 2024 into 2025, because some people did not make it. And for those of you who are dreading leaving 2024 because you're leaving your memories behind, God will give you new memories to make in 2025.
Yeah, awesome, man. And let me say this to you as we close. Man, I love you guys. Thank you. Thank you for your support each and every week of the Blueprint Podcast. I love you guys, and I look forward to seeing you in 2025. And I'm looking forward to the end of 2025, man, where all the things that you desired at the beginning of the year comes to a realization at the end of the year, right? Make your goals, make your plans, think big, right? Don't think small, think big, right? Think out there, stretch yourself.
Ooh, stretch.
Right?
I like that.
Stretch yourself in 2025. Man, if you find yourself in debt, get out of debt. Figure out a way to get out. Speak to God. Let's get out. Let's move forward and let's start moving in the kingdom.
I like that. Debt free.
Debt free in 2025.
Yeah.
Debt free.
Anybody want to go for that? Anybody want to take their credit cards by the neck and say, we're getting rid of this credit, we're getting rid of this, we're gonna take this out. Let's do something. Let's do something. We love you too. Love
you guys.
And there's my mom. Hey mom, you've been watching and listening. We love you. You know you a bad lady, man. I'm telling you. You know, I gotta go run around the block a few times to get this cake off. But I'm gonna go upstairs and eat the cake first. Eat the cake, Annie, man. I'm gonna go eat the cake.
Eat the cake.
Then I'm gonna run around because I'm eating that cake.
That's gonna be breakfast.
Lisa said she wants to be debt free in 2020. Come on, let me tell you, we need to make some plans. If you know a financial planner out there, I need to maybe Lowe's, we can find a financial planner on for 2025. Somebody that can talk about what to do with finances, because I think that's going to be a real critical time period for 2025. If you guys know a really good financial planner, somebody that understands the power of resources, the power of money, we want to put that person on this show. You know, send us the names of somebody that you can talk to, that we can talk to, because we want a financial planner to help those of us who want to be debt free. If you know somebody, let us know, because we want to bring them on the show.
And we're going to have somebody coming on in 2025. We're going to be talking about health. Right, they're gonna be talking about health and nutrition in 2025, right? And this is the theme for 2025. We want more life in 2024 and 2025, more life. And so I want to say thank you guys, love you, God bless you.
All right, Lisa.
And I say this each and every week: if God allows you to wake up tomorrow, make tomorrow your masterpiece. Love you guys.
Amen. Let's see what we got. We still got some comments rolling up here. More life. Come on. MOORE life. Come on, sis. You know, looking
more
forward
life
to
in 2025.
That's what we're doing.
We're speaking life.
We're speaking
life, light, love.
Come on, y'all.
Energia.
Yes.
Regeneration and immortality in 2025.
2025. We'll see you there. God bless you. Heaven smile upon you. Oh.
We really hope you enjoyed this episode of Lowe's More, the Blueprint Podcast. Stay connected and follow us at our website, www.lowesmore.com. That's LOWESMOORE.com. You can also join the discussion on Twitter at Lowe's More and on Facebook at Lowe's More Jr. As always, thank you for pushing your mindset towards a better reality. This concludes the most thought-provoking portion of your day. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this podcast to stay fully up to date with everything we're up to. Until next time, be kind to yourself and each other.
What they teaching is a joke. I ain't buying it like I'm broke. Insufficient funds for insignificant.